Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. The world mourns the Queen. Queen Elizabeth II has died. Balmoral Palace at the Balmoral Castle, ladies and gentlemen, at age 96. You know I'm Rastafarian soldier, yeah. I the right man for report about the Queen drop out. Greetings, greetings, and salutations to all nation. Ladies and gentlemen, you know I'm Rastafari soldier of Deep Roots TV. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm asking you, hit that red subscribe button. If you know any Rastafarian worldwide, I want you to share this to any Rasta you know. Because they say that the world is mourning the death of Queen Elizabeth II. In Britain, England, the whole world sad for the Queen. Buckingham Palace said that the Queen, who was 96, died at the Balmoral Castle, her estate in the Scottish Highlands. You hear where she gone? The Scottish Highlands. Her son, King Charles III, becomes the new monarch. Now, I man is not a person to sound celebratory about someone's death. But the Queen has been sitting up on the throne for a long, long time. You are going to. When me say a long time, I mean she have been sitting up on the throne for a very long time. Now the Queen's name is Elizabeth Alexandra Mary, officially Elizabeth II. And so by the grace of God of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and the Northern Ireland of her other realms and territory, the Queen, head of the Commonwealth, defender of the faith. She was born the 21st of April 1926, London, England, and she is now deceased September 8, 2022. She dropped out at the Balmoral Castle in Scotland. Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain, Northern Ireland from February 6 of 1952. You see how long she a roll? Me and you. You are guaranteed. So I'm not celebratory. I'm reading the news from the Rastaman perspective. In 2015, she surpassed Victoria to become the longest reigning monarch in British history. Elizabeth was the elder daughter of Prince Albert, Duke of York. His wife was Lady Elizabeth Bowers Lyon. As the child of a young son of King George IV, the youthful Elizabeth has no perspective of ascending to the throne under her uncle Edward VIII on December 11th. Her father got favor dictated 4. Meaning say our uncle the Duke of Windsor, Edward VIII, spoke favorably. So on December 11, 1936, her father became King George VI, and she became the presumptive heir to the throne. The princess was educated and supervised by her mother, who entrusted her daughter to governess Marion Crawford. And the princess was also grounded in history by C.H.K. Martin after Provost of Elton College, and have instructed from visiting teachers in music and language. During World War II, she and her sister, Princess Margaret Rose, perforce spent much of the time in a safe location from the London Bliss, and separated from her parents, living mostly at the Balmoral Castle in Scotland, where she passed at the Royal Lodge in Windsor and Windsor Castle. The early 47 Princess Elizabeth went with the King and Queen to South Africa. After her return, she was an announcement to her betrothal of distant cousin, Lieutenant Philip Mountbatten of the Royal Navy, formerly Prince Philip of Greece and Denmark. The marriage took place in Windsor Abbey on November 20, 1947. On the eve of the wedding, her father, the king, conferred upon the bridegroom the title of Duke of Edinburgh, Earl of Merioneth, and Baron Greenwich. They took residence at Clarence House in London. Their first child, Prince Charles, who is going to be ruling as King George, was born November 14, 1948 at Buckingham Palace. In the summer of 1951, the health of King George VI entered into a serious decline. The Princess Elizabeth represented him at the trooping color and at various other state occasions. On October 7th, she and her husband set out on a highly successful tour of Canada, Washington, D.C. After Christmas in England, she and the Duke set out in January 1952 for a tour of Australia, New Zealand, but en route at the Sagana, Kenya, news reached them of the King's death on February 6 of 1952. Elizabeth, now the Queen, at once flew back to England. The first 3 months of her reign, the period of full mourning for her father, were passed in comparative selections. But in the summer after she had moved from Charles House of Buckingham Palace, she undertook the route and the routine duties of the sovereign and carried out the first state opening of Parliament November 4th, 1952. Her coronation was held at Westminster Abbey on June 2nd, 1958. Beginning in November of 1953, the Queen and the Duke embarked on made a 6-month round world tour of the Commonwealth, which included 5 visits to Australia and New Zealand by a reigning British monarch in 1957 after a state visit to various European nations. She and the Duke visited Canada and the United States. In 1961, she made the first royal British tour of India subcontinent in 50 years, and she was also the first reigning monarch from Britain to visit South America in 1968 and the Persian Gulf country in 1979. During her Silver Jubilee in 1977, she presided at London banquet attended by leaders of 36 members of Commonwealth traveling from all over the world: Britain, North Ireland and toured overseas in the South Pacific and Australia, in Canada, and in the Caribbean. On the ascension of Queen Elizabeth, her son, Prince Charles, became heir apparent. He was named Prince of Wales July 26, 1958, and was so invested on July 1st, 1969. The Queen others child were Prince Anne and Elizabeth Alice Louise, born August 15, 1950, and created Princess Royal in 1987. Prince Andrew, Prince Albert Christian Edwards, born February 1960, and created Duke of York in 1986. And Prince Edward Anthony Richard Lewis, born March 10th, 1964, and created Earl of Wessex and Viscount Sovereign in 1999. All these children have the surname of Windsor. But in 1960, Elizabeth decided to create the hyphenated name Mountbatten Windsor for other descendants not styled Prince or Princess, and Royal Highness Elizabeth's first grandchild, Princess Anne's son, was born on November 15, 1977. The Queen seemed increasingly aware of the modern role of monarch, allowing, for example, the television of royal family domestic life in 1970 and condoning the formal discussion and dissolution of her sister's marriage in 1978. In the 1990s, however, the royal family faced numbers of challenges. In 1992, a year that Elizabeth referred to as the royal family annus horribilis, Prince Charles and his wife Diana, Princess of Wales, separated, and did Prince Andrew and his wife Sarah, Duchess of York. However, moreover, and divorced, and a fire gutted the royal resident of Windsor Castle. In addition, as the country struggles with resentment over the royal lifestyle mounted, and in 1992 Elizabeth also personally agreed to pay taxes on her private income. Separation and the late divorce in 1996 of Charles and immensely popular Diana feature endured support for the royal family, which was viewed by some as antiquated and unfeeling. The criticism intensified following Diana's death in 1997, especially after Queen Elizabeth initially refused to allow the national flag to fly at half-mast over Buckingham Palace. In line with her early attempt to modernize the monarch, the Queen subsequently sought to present a less stuffy and less traditional image of the monarch. These attempts were met with mixed success. In 2002, Elizabeth celebrated her 50th anniversary on the throne as part of her Golden Jubilee. Even were held throughout the Commonwealth, including several days of festives in London. Celebrations were somewhat dismissive by death of Elizabeth's mother and sister early in the year. Beginning at the late part of the first decade of the first century, the public standards of the royal family rebounded, and even Charles' 205 marriage of Camilla Parker Bowles found much support among the British people. In April of 2011, Elizabeth led the family in celebration the wedding of Prince William of Wales, the elder son of Charles and Diana, and Catherine Middleton. The following month, she surpassed George III to become the second longest reigning monarch in British history, behind Victoria. Also, Mary Elizabeth made the historic trip in Ireland, becoming both the first British monarch to visit the Irish Republic and the first to set foot in the island since 1911. In 2012, Elizabeth celebrated her Diamond Jubilee, making 60 years on the throne. On September 9th of 2015, she surpassed Victoria's record reigning of 63 years and 216 days. In August of 2017, Prince Philip officially retired from public life throughout the period that appeared on official engagement after that. In the meantime, Elizabeth began to reduce her own official engagements, passing some duties to Prince George and other senior members of the royal family throughout the pool of standing in shrank, which Charles' young son Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, and his wife Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, controversially chose to give up the royal roles in March 2020. During the period, public interest in the Queen and the royal family grew as a result of the widespread popularity of The Crown and Netflix television series about the Windsor that debuted in 2016, having dealt with several physical setbacks in recent years. Philip, who had been Elizabeth's husband for more than 7 decades, died in April 2021 on their 5th wedding anniversary. In 1997, Elizabeth had said of Philip, "He had quite simply been my strength and staying all these years." Because of the social distance protocol brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic, the Queen sat alone in a pew in St. George's Chapel. The widely dismantled image of the tragic isolation was heartbreaking, but emblematic of the dignity and the courage that she brought to her reign. In June 2022, Britain celebrated Elizabeth's 70th year on throne with the Platinum Jubilee, 4 days national holidays that included the Trooping and Colour ceremony and Thanksgiving service at St. Paul's Cathedral, a pop music concert at Buckingham Palace, and a pageant that employed street art, theater music, circus, carnivals, and costume to honor the Queen's reign. Health issue limited Elizabeth's involvement. Concern about the Queen's health also led to a break in traditions when in September she appointed Boris Johnson replacement as Prime Minister Liz Truss at Balmoral rather than at Buckingham Palace, where she had formerly appointed more than a dozen prime ministers. Elizabeth was known to favor simplicity in court and life, and was also known to take a serious and infamous interest in government business aside from the tradition and the ceremonial duties. Privately, she was known to become keen, a horsewoman. She kept racehorse, frequently attended races, and periodically visited the Kentucky Stud Farm in the United States. Her financial property holdings made her one of the world's richest women. You hear that? So, I want to know if you understand, say, the Queen gone at a better place right now, because she have sent many millions to that place that she is. So I just wanted to take a moment, give you a full update on who the Queen is, how she got to be Queen, and make you know say the Rasta man them beat Kete Jum for years. For years these news. So that's why I tell you at the beginning, if you have any Rasta brethren, any Rasta family, share this content. I want them to hear that the Queen of England, the Queen Elizabeth, the longest reigning monarch in England's history. Because you can't say in our world, because you don't know nothing about everything about the world. Africans have some people who rule long time. Big up my African people them right now. You see this. Share it up, like it up. I want the Jamaicans them to hear that Queen Elizabeth II has died. She dead at 96. You organ T. Rasta man, I report it. Hit the red subscribe button. Share it to all Rasta worldwide. It's been reported that the world mourns for the Queen of England. There be a new monarch. Our son. Them say them no have no king on earth right now. Well, here come King George. Bless up on yourself. Subscribe, like, and share. You hear what me I say? Give thanks for sticking with me. Just to give you some information about the Queen. She's no more, you seen?
Hello, my name is Accession and welcome to Deep Roots TV.
Pick up Deep Roots TV. Respect, make sure you tune in here every time.